Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is your host Majestic speaking with another episode of Mech Warrior Online here. And today we're going to be going through the Resistance Hero Packs, and in particular the pre-orders, so what you guys are going to be getting, what's different or unique about each of these variants, and my opinions on them, and what kind of roles I think are going to be most suitable, or what you're going to see out there on the battlefield once they are released. So we're going to go through each of these guys. We're going to go through the lights, mediums, heavies, and assaults in that order. Before we actually dive into the nitty-gritty details of each of these guys, we're going to take a look at exactly what their paint scheme looks like, and even the updated changes that they made as a result of the rest of the community kind of giving some feedback on them. So I did want to first point out exactly how all of these mechs look. So if we first take a look at our Wolfhound here, Grinner, I am very, very excited about this mech, and I'm going to dive into the details about it once we go into the loadout and exactly what kind of hard points and everything it has. So I am very, very excited about the Wolfhound. The Wolfhound is definitely, dare I say, my favorite light mech. I absolutely love playing around with the Wolfhounds. They're very tanky. They're very capable, just as most other lights out there on the battlefield, and I'm very, very excited that they're introducing this as part of obviously as part of the Resistance Hero Collection. Excellent looking paint scheme, just very aesthetically pleasing. And when I dive into the nitty-gritty details on this guy, you guys hopefully will feel the same way afterwards. Moving on to the Irby, the K9 Irby hero. Whether you like the Irbies or not, hopefully everyone does. You gotta love the Irbies. I mean, an Irby's an Irby. You're never gonna... You can't really have harsh feelings towards it because look at it. I mean, it's part of the game. It's part of, like, it's just part of even the community now. Like, everyone sees the Irby, and whether you take it as a joke, I hope you don't, because it's especially with this guy with the as part of the hero collection. This is going to be definitely, even if you just have it as a collector's item in your garage, I'm sure everyone is going to pre-order at least the K9. And I think Snuggles already made mention of it because of the fact that it has this police K9, kind of theme to it. The protect and serve patch on the side. It says PD on the bottom, so like police department. But one thing, Snuggles mentioned it, and PGI better do it, is anytime the Irby gets a kill or something like that, please make this light up. Please make the top of the head just light up with those sirens. That would be absolutely fantastic. And I really hope that if they are watching right now, there's a bunch of us that want it. So, if you want to really sell this mech, they will include that as an actual light-up siren on top of the Irby's head. I think that would definitely add another reason to buy this particular mech. Moving on to the Panther, the Katana Cat. Definitely a little bit more of an Asian theme there. You could see like the gold dragons and the chains and even the scales and the Japanese kind of waves on the shoulders and stuff like that. So it's definitely an Asian themed type of build from the aesthetic standpoint on the pattern, and I think it definitely looks very unique. It's very interesting looking. I personally haven't really messed around with Panthers too much, but I'm going to dive into the details on it and whether or not I think it would be a good buy regardless. But I think it definitely has its place, and there are a lot of people that enjoy running around with Panthers. So I guess we'll have to see how well it gets integrated into the game. Aesthetically, I definitely think it looks pretty neat. It does have like the scales on the side for like dragon scales or snake scales, however you want to interpret it. But definitely a cool look to it. Moving on to the mediums now, we have the Florentine Crab hero, and everyone loves the crabs. I mean, the crabs are very tanky, they're very bulky, and I see this guy kind of staying in the same or similar role. So if you are a crab fan, I doubt that you will pass up on this mech. The paint scheme, the color pattern on it, and everything like that. They have the Argyle and the patchwork, the Ivy on the left leg there, and it definitely is a unique looking mech. I have to say it's definitely pretty cool. I probably will wind up purchasing it, and we're going to dive into the details on this guy as well. But again, just from initial impressions, Florentine, having the, I guess, when I think of Florentine, I always have like an Italian kind of, illusion is what I like to think of. So I always think of Italy because of I don't know why Florentine reminds me of like Florence. So that's like the interpretation that I get out of it. But I think it's definitely a cool looking mech. So we'll dive into the details in just a bit. The next one, the Enforcer, Gilly. I am very, very excited about this mech, and I'm going to dive into the details like I said before. We're going to go through the changes. This is one of the mechs that had some changes to it, so I'll dive into the details in particular on this guy and exactly what it's going to have to offer. And first impressions, definitely going to be picking this guy up, so definitely stay tuned. And as for the aesthetics and the camo on it, awesome. I love the growing kind of moss, algae, rustic kind of battle-ridden look to it. I think it's definitely a cool add that PGI implemented in the game for the hero, being allusion to the sniper kind of theme there. And when I dive into the changes that they made, you'll see exactly why it probably is camoed like this and why in particular they made the changes that they did. So definitely a cool mech. Definitely looking forward to this one. Black Knight, gotta love the Black Knights. And in this case, this is the Partisan, or the Partisan. I definitely have a thing for the Black Knights. I played with them in competitive landscapes and in those kind of situations. And I absolutely love them. Very tanky, brutal, brawlers. They really have a place in the game. And with the nerfs from the most recent patches, you didn't see them very often. But I think they're going to be making a little bit of a resurgence now, especially once the new skill tree is out and everything. I think it's definitely a good pickup if you do enjoy the Black Knights, if you enjoy the heavy chassis. So this is a heavy mech. And I think it's got kind of like a titanium, all kind of steel, robust kind of look to it. It's got the hexagon kind of, honeycomb pattern on the shoulders, which I think is actually pretty neat. And I'm very excited about this one. It's got like a couple of gold accents around it. It's very, very unique looking. So I'm definitely excited to see this one out there on the battlefield. And I'll dive into the details in just a bit. Moving on to the Mjolnir, the Grasshopper hero, Norse theme. Very, very, I use the Grasshoppers, but they are one of the tallest mechs in the game. So you're looking at a very big profile here. Don't take them out as often, but this might change it up a little bit for me because everyone knows the Grasshoppers to be the energy boats and stuff like that, the high mounts above the waist and everything. But I'm going to dive into what this guy in particular has to offer so that you guys can see the differences and if I think it's a good or bad purchase based off whatever your role is or whatever role you want to play with it. So definitely an awesome looking paint job with the Nordic, Norse kind of Viking theme to it. I love the paint scheme, the actual colors that they implemented in there with the gold and the light and deep blues in there. It's a very, very unique pattern to it. And definitely excited to seeing this one implemented in the game as well. Moving on to the assaults. We have the Mauler Knockout. Definitely going to be picking this guy up. I looked at the loadout and the hard points on it. Very, very exciting stuff, actually. And I'm not much of an assault pilot, but this is one that I'm probably going to pick up and mess around with a lot just because I really like what it does have to offer. It's definitely unique. The paint scheme, is a little... It seems bland. That's just my opinion. Just because, I know it looks cool. You have the splats here and there and the scratch marks even on the hip area and the regions and everything. But it looks like... they could have done a little bit more. Maybe like a boxer theme or even just a fighter kind of theme to it with maybe like a punching bag or something or even boxing gloves, something on there. If you're going to name it the Knockout, I think that they could have done more with this paint job than what's offered here. But again, that's all aesthetics. It's nitpicky kind of stuff. But it definitely does look like a pretty awesome looking assault, especially from the hardpoint standpoint, which I'll dive into in just a bit. Moving on to the Zeus. Now, this guy definitely has some unique stuff to it, and I'm going to dive, as I said, into the details in just a second. I do like the paint scheme that they placed on there. definitely pretty unique. An interesting kind of spin. It kind of looks like at first when like from a distance, I thought these were all hieroglyphics up on the shoulders. I had no idea what those were, and then I zoomed in and I was like, okay, so they're just putting like another pattern on top of the pattern. They have the caution stamps underneath the pecs there. And the Zeus is definitely an interesting assault mech, and they titled the hero the Skokomish, and I think that's it's definitely interesting. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Definitely sets itself apart from the other Zeus heroes, not heroes, the other Zeus variants. But I'm curious to see. I'm not as familiar with the Zeuses. I don't really take them out on the battlefield that much. Initial impressions based off the loadout. We'll talk about it. So we'll get there in just a second. And last but not least, the King Crab Kaiju. I am very, very excited about this assault mech. Definitely has a very, very unique loadout, positioning of the hard points and everything. And in particular, that paint scheme, ladies and gentlemen. I think we can all agree that's the most badass looking paint job of all of the the Resistance heroes in this pack, and definitely for the King Crab, it definitely suits it very well. They toyed with it and they kind of teased us when we first saw the King Crabs, but it wasn't implemented into the game, and it's cool that they kind of saved it to make it special for the Kaiju. Great selling point. So for PGI, I see what you did there. You're getting people to commit to it, even just for the paint scheme. So definitely an interesting, an awesome looking paint job on this guy. Very, very excited to take it out on the battlefield. We'll be picking this one up as well. All these mechs come out mid-June. So June 20th. By then we should have the new skill tree system in there. So definitely stay tuned in that capacity. But I'm very excited. I mean, for all of these guys, they all have a unique add to them. So I'm going to give all my initial impressions and, what I think each mech would be suitable for in particular roles on the battlefield, and then close with some final thoughts. So let's hop into the nitty-gritty details here. First, we're going to go through the light mechs, the Urbie, Wolfhound, and the Panther. And as I said, the urban mech, the K9, police theme, kind of same as that, what is it, the St. Ives Blues with the Vindicator. That kind of also has a police theme to it. You gotta you have to pick it up. There's no doubt about it. Everyone's gonna be picking up this Urbie. It's definitely a unique looking Urbie. It adds a mix between everything, and it comes with a standard 60 engine, top speed 32 kph. Like, obviously that's a joke in and of itself. So then hopefully you guys will be messing around with it a little bit. To give it a little bit of a better engine rating and stuff. It has a max engine rating of 180. No ECM or mask. And as for the hard points, left arm 3 energy, center torso 2 energy, 1 AMS in the right torso, and then 1 ballistic in the right arm. So, they crammed a ton of, weapon systems on here. All energy or ballistic, but it's nothing really that different from what you can already get on an Urbie. You do have the energy-focused Urbies and the ballistic-focused Urbies. So, it's up to you guys if you're really going to sink it into buying this mech for, playing around and messing around so much in the pug queue. It's a cool mech, and I think for the main selling point on it is, in particular, that cosmetic kind of aesthetic paint job. Additional, siren on top of the head. They better make that thing turn on. I swear to God, I'm going to be really pissed if they don't turn that thing on. If you get a kill, that would be fantastic for the siren to go off. But, it's up to you guys if you purchase it for any other reason. Not really bringing that much to the table, if you ask me. That sets it so much apart other than how it looks in comparison to the rest of the variants. So that's my stab at that. As for the Wolfhound, this is one of my favorite lights in the entire game. I'm extremely excited about this one to come out. Guarantee I will do one, if not several videos, probably even on this hero. In particular, because of this, the ECM capability. It has a standard 210 in there, goes 97 kph, has a max engine rating of a 295, and it's a 35-tonner. We have 5 energy points. I'm sorry. And that ECM suite, that is huge because this is going to become another silent killer. Sets itself completely apart even just from adding that ECM module on there. It's going to definitely completely change how people perceive playing Wolfhounds. The Wolfhounds are pretty big mechs. They have a very big, similar profile even to the Panthers, and the Panthers have a huge profile. So they are known for being tanky light mechs. They are known for being, kind of really brawly, up close and personal kind of gameplay mechs. And the fact that you have ECM on there now, that you could creep around on the battlefield and have those 5 energy hardpoints, I can see the ECM added in there, and then either 5 energy or 5 mediums or 5 medium pulses on there, depending on what max engine size rating you want to have and how heat efficient you want it to be. So obviously, you're taking up 5 more tons if you do decide to place all medium pulses on there as opposed to 5 mediums. So I guess we'll have to see how it pans out, but definitely going to be sneaky mech, going to still be tanky, as you guys can probably imagine, and I am very, very excited to take this one out there on the battlefield. Next up, Panther. As I mentioned, I don't really play the Panthers that much, so as for where the differences lie, I do like the fact that they do kind of have a little bit more balanced with this one. I probably will pick this one up because of the fact that it does have the 2 energy in the left arm and the 2 energy in the right arm, along with 1 missile in the center torso. And again, you're working with 35 tons. It has a max engine rating of 250. It goes 64.8 kph with that XL 140 in there. So probably bump up the engine rating with an XL engine, put 4 mediums or 4 medium pulse, and then maybe an SRM 4, an SRM 6 in the center torso. See exactly how that works out. And it should be a nice little stab kind of mech, like a little bit of a dagger here and there. Dip in, dip out kind of scenario. It's not as tanky for me when playing it as it is as the Wolfhound, but definitely excited about the fact that it does add a little bit extra here, a little more balance on both sides of the mech, as opposed to, everyone likes to Pop-Tart PPC with them in the right arm for the most part. So the fact that they have 2 energy on both sides, and then that missile hardpoint in the middle, you're not going to learn boat with the Panther. So that missile hardpoint is intended most likely to be an SRM kind of build to work around. It comes with an SRM 4. So, I mean, if that's no indication already, then there you go. It does have jump jets, so this is the only one of the 3 lights that is going to offer jump jets. None of the Wolfhounds have jump jets, and that's just a direct comparison because they're both in that 35-ton class. But this guy will, so you will be able to still Pop-Tart and everything with it. And that's what I mean. It's going to be kind of like more of a surprise-oriented kind of mech. Before we dive into the mediums, this is where I'm going to switch over to my other tab where they updated just one of the things in particular on the Enforcer, in case you guys hadn't seen it. So Daniel Whalen, he is the Enforcer hero that this mech is being themed around, and the big thing that they added to this particular variant is ECM, which I think is absolutely fantastic and a great edit on that side of PGI. And then I'm actually kind of glad I did this video as late as it is, because they made this update after the original release of saying, you can pre-order the Resistance Heroes. And then they edited it again. So it's like so if I had done the original video and then now backtracked and been like, wait, but there's edits now. So it could have confused some people. So the fact that now, it's a couple days now after the original release of the Resistance Hero mechs for the pre-order, and that they added these edits to it. They did reduce the engine rating, so the max engine cap, they reduced it slightly. But I think the big takeaway is the fact that it's intended to be a sniper. So, while it has, I'll dive into the loadout in just a second. But, it talks about the old school tech with the prototype Gauss rifle. And, Dan Whalen, he was known for being a great sniper in his Enforcer. So if you want to read more about the lore, then definitely look it up and you can find out all about it. But I think adding that ECM capability, stealthy, along with that paint scheme with the moss and algae and camo kind of approach to it, excellent edit by PGI. Obviously, it would have been better if they just released it like that from the get-go, but I think that's a great add. Putting the ECM and reducing the engine cap slightly, I will definitely take it. So, great job on PGI's behalf. So let's move on to the mediums now. We have the Crab and the Enforcer. So we're looking at the Crab, and the Crab in particular has always been known for energy boating. But now we're looking at ballistics. We have ballistics in the left arm and the right arm. And then you have 2 energy in the right torso, 2 missile in the left torso. So, for a medium, unfortunately, if you decide to go like double A UAC 5s or something like that, or even an LB10, it takes out a lot of the tonnage in which you would have to focus more on an XL engine as opposed to a standard engine. The Crabs are known for having a lot of tankability, so you're not really adding a disservice to your build if you do have an XL engine on there, because you will have a little bit more survivability and durability out there on the battlefield. Comes with an XL 250, 81 kph, and a max engine rating of 325. So it definitely it definitely sets itself apart from the other Crabs, and I think this is one that I'm going to pick up because of that the ballistic hard points in both arms. Even if I did I was thinking about it. What if I did double AC2s or even double AC5s and then, SRM 4s or something like that there, and then 2 mediums or something? Maybe that'll work, and just either reduce the engine size or something like that, see how heat efficient it is. So there's a lot to mess around with once it actually is released. So I'll have to mess around and see exactly what works. But I'm thinking AC2s or AC5s for the arms. I don't know if it's going to come with any quirks or anything like that. Obviously, with the new skill tree system there, so we'll have to see if they do put quirks there. But early indication is, having those 2 ballistics, the 2 missile, 2 energy. It's a jack of all trades, master of none kind of ordeal. Definitely sets itself apart from the other Crabs. Very unique, interesting paint scheme with the the Florentine kind of approach with the Argyle and the IV on the left leg. So it's definitely, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't messed around with the Crabs much. I haven't even basicked or mastered the Crabs that I already do have. So I'll be messing around with those. This sounds so bad and kind of sexual now, and I'm hearing it in my head, and I'm just going to move on from there. We're going to leave it at that. Excited for the ballistic Crab here. We'll see how it pans out. I'll be definitely doing a video because I am going to pick this one up. And back to our Enforcer buddy here. And as I mentioned before, it has the ECM and no mask or anything like that, but it has the XL 250 in there. Max engine rating is now 300 as opposed to before. I believe it was 325 as well, I believe it was 325 before, so they reduced it to 300. But that's not even a big deal because you're not really going to put an XL 300 in the Enforcer anyway. Most of the time you see it with an XL 250 or 275, something like that. So no harm, no foul in this case. You're not really making it much of a disservice. If this were a max engine rating of like 250, then it's like, okay, I have to kind of pick and choose if I want to perform how PGI is kind of forcing to play it. But 300, not really much of a disservice. So with that ECM, obviously going to be incorporating that on there. 2 energy. On the left side focus. Nothing different from some of the already established variants of the Enforcer that are already in the game. So that's not really where you're going to see much of a difference. But there's the big difference: the ECM suite in the right torso and the 1 ballistic in the right arm, which they're saying, obviously in the prototype Gauss rifle for Dan Whalen's Hero Enforcer, he did have a Gauss rifle in there. Does come with jump jets as well, so that is definitely another appeal there. Pop-tarting, I could see people even putting on a PPC Gauss meta build on this. It should work out pretty well, actually, especially from long range if you like that sniper kind of approach. Don't know if they're going to put any kind of quirks to it, with the Gauss rifle being a hero and everything like that, and talking about how much sniper, illusion or lore there is there. So it's going to be up to you guys if you want to pick it up. I'm definitely going to pick it up. Definitely sets itself apart. It's a unique variant of the Enforcer, so I'll be doing a review on that as well. And that sums it up for both of our mediums here. So, I'm doing the overview of the hard points and everything right now, and then I'm going to talk about the roles that I think each of these guys will play. So definitely stay tuned. We have the Grasshopper in the heavy class and the Black Knight in the heavy class. Before we dive into those, we had an edit here on the Black Knight. And the Black Knight, there was a huge pushback from the community to get a ballistic hardpoint in the Black Knight. And so what the Black Knight originally had was, the laser and the energy boating focus with 2 missile hardpoints. And the community said, no, screw the missile hardpoints. We want a ballistic hardpoint. Put a ballistic hardpoint in there. So that's exactly what PGI did. Thank you for listening to us here in the community. That is huge because I am definitely going to be picking up this Black Knight. As they mentioned here, we originally had 2 missile hardpoints in the hatchet arm, but there seems to be a demand for a ballistic hardpoint, so now it has 1 missile and 1 ballistic. You hit the nail on the head. I mean, how do you... There's no other words. Thank you. That made my day. You sold me a Black Knight because you did that. Just by changing off one of the hardpoints. I love the Black Knights. Played with them in comp kind of battles and the competitive side or scene of Mech Warrior Online. And that's what I was hoping for because the Black Knights are very tanky. So when you look at exactly what this guy has to offer with that ballistic hardpoint and the missile hardpoint, then you have 6 energy, which is no different than a lot of the Black Knights or the already established Black Knights in the game, which are all energy focus. Definitely going to set itself apart. We'll be picking this one up 100%. So definitely look forward to reviewing that and seeing how it works out. As for the Grasshopper Mjolnir, that hero, it has the jump jets on there. It has the XL280 rating on there versus the standard 300 in the Black Knight. Both go 64 kph. Neither of them have ECM or mask, but the Grasshopper does have the jump jets. That commonality. Obviously, with the Grasshopper, you think of a jumping bug. It makes sense. Like I would have been kind of disappointed had they not kept the jump jets on the hero just to set it apart from something else or from the other variants. So good on them for keeping the jump jets there. Everyone knows the Grasshoppers also for being energy boats, so they added the 1 ballistic hardpoint in there as well on the left arm. Not sure how much that's actually going to be used. I'm curious to see how many people use that because the Black Knight is known for having the low mounts with whether it's the energy or now the ballistic hardpoint in that right hatchet arm, or in the left arm. I'm sorry. And so I'm curious to see how that ballistic slot is integrated on the Grasshopper versus the ballistic on the left arm for the Black Knight. I feel like it's a majority of the focus is still going to be on these energy hardpoints. And maybe integrating like a UAC 5 or something in there, maybe an LB10. But I don't see someone really turning a Grasshopper into a brawler versus how you normally see the Black Knights that like to get up close and personal, have some tankability, some durability, and could really put down some damage. So curious to see how that works out. I'm on the fence right now about this, about the Mjolnir. I love the aesthetics. I love the paint scheme that they placed on it. But I'm curious to see exactly how to integrate this 1 ballistic hardpoint when it doesn't have the same kind of tankiness as we have from the Black Knight. The Black Knight also has 5 more tons, but it's just how the game or how the gameplay actually normally works with these 2 mechs is the Black Knight is more of a brawler and the Grasshopper is more of an energy boat, mid-range, maybe even long-range kind of support heavy. So we'll see how that pans out. Now, as for the assaults, the last 3 on our list here, they did just say an edit to the King Crab, as the lower arm and hand actuators have been removed. They shouldn't have been there in the first place. So, in other words, they're just a bunch of retards. They forgot to remove it, and now they're telling you that they did. So, yay. But let's go through each of these guys. The Zeus. The Zeus is definitely a pickup for you guys if you like playing in assaults. If you have any experience with the Zeus, there's one defining aspect about this Zeus hero that sets it apart from, obviously, the rest of them. Right here. Mask capability. I mean, to have mask on an assault is definitely an added bonus. It's an 80-ton assault, so it's one of the lightest that you're going to, or it is, yeah, it is one of the lightest that you're going to find in the assault class. Has an XL 320, it's max engine rating of 400, and again, with that mass capability in there, to be able to accelerate on the battlefield, obviously get away from your opponents or engage quicker with your opponents. That is definitely going to play a huge role as to why people would pick up this Zeus hero. And I think that in and of itself is going to be the selling point. Because if you look at the hard points here, 1 ballistic, 4 missile, and 2 energy, it's, again, a jack of all trades. Got everything on there. Not really setting itself apart much from some of the other Zeuses out there. You have the 2 missiles in the missile hardpoints that are already integrated in the arm, and there's mixing and matching with a bunch of these different weapon systems or loadouts and the hardpoints and everything on there. So you're not really getting much difference with this particular variant than you would be with any of the other Zeuses out there, except for that. The mask capability. So that in and of itself could be a reason why people pick it up. I'm still on the fence about this one as well, so we'll have to see exactly how that pans out. We'll probably wind up trying to pick up all of these just to do a review of how they actually perform out there on the battlefield, but again, we'll have to see how it works. As for the Mauler, very excited about this one. Definitely going to be picking it up. The Knockout, it's a 90-tonner, 270 XL 270 on there, 48 kph, or 49 if you round up. Max engine rating 325, no mask or ECM, but I'm very excited about these the positioning and balance of this loadout. Look at how balanced that is. A ballistic hardpoint in each arm, 2 energy and 2 missile in each torso. Very, very symmetrical. And I'm very excited just from the standpoint of not only balance, but seeing how this one performs in comparison to some of its counterparts that are mostly ballistic heavy. You're looking at the torsos just having the ballistic hardpoints in there, and people like to do the 6 AC2s or the 4 UAC 5s or the 4 AC 5s, whatever or 5 AC 5s, whatever it is. The people really, really love their maulers, and this one is definitely adding something new, something different to the table. There are no ballistics in the torsos in this hero variant. They're only in the arms, which is a little bit of a lower mount. So if you were to use them, obviously you're probably not going to be doing much. I shouldn't say that. I'm going to backtrack a little bit. You probably would be able to peek and poke. So whether you want to put a Gauss rifle on there or anything, that's what I'm guessing if you like the longer range approach. But if you do really like getting up close and personal, I could see these being 4 medium pulses, 4 SRM6s with Artemis, and then maybe 2 LB10s or UAC 5s, or even if you just wanted to say screw it to some of these other hard points and everything. Wouldn't really make sense to do it, but I'm sure you could probably stick an AC20 in each arm. It really depends on how you want to use it, but very, very excited about this one just from the balance, and they're mixing it up a little bit. They're giving you something different with this particular this build, this hero. So I'm excited to see how it turns out. So I will be picking that one up, and then the last one, the King Crab Kaiju, 100-tonner. Definitely going to be picking this one up, if not already, for the paint scheme and the aesthetics that are on it. I mean, look at what we've got here. We've got a standard 300 in there, max engine 360. You're not really going to put an XL engine in these guys. So, you have 100 tons to work with. So, even if 30 or 40% of your build is based around that engine, you still have 60, 70 tons to work with. With your hard points and everything. So, what he has to offer, though, 3 energy hardpoints in each arm, 2 missile in the left torso, and 2 ballistic in the right torso. So what I'm thinking, or what I'm guessing people are going to do, is with 100 tons to work with, maybe medium pulses in those 2 arms, UAC 5s in the torso, or double LB10s. And then 2 missiles, so 2 SRM6s probably with Artemis is what I'm guessing If you wanted to really make it a brawler, pack a huge punch. Very, very heat intensive with all that weaponry there, but I think that is going to be definitely set itself apart from the other King Crab variants, if not for the paint scheme itself. So very, very excited to get this one. We'll be picking this one up as well. As you can see, the price breakdown, you're looking at $25 for the what's it called, the assaults, 20 for the heavies, 15 for the mediums, and 10 for the lights. As for what I think each of these mechs is going to be built for, King Crab, I can only really see this being a brawler. Between the brawler standpoint for the King Crab and the brawler for the heavies, for the mauler, I think those are going to be your more front-line kind of mechs here. They have the tonnage, they have great hard points, and what you can equip on them, their capabilities and everything. I think that they'll be perfect for front-line kind of gameplay, really tip of the spear kind of gameplay. And then for the Zeus, I think the Zeus is going to be more of a second-line mech, so a little bit more support, dip in and dip out of situations, use that mask to its advantage, and kind of just help support wherever it's needed. So if one of these guys are up at the front, the Zeus can dip into a situation pretty quickly, tag one of your opponents, dip out. They're not as tanky, obviously. They're only 80 tons, so you're losing either 10 or 20 tons in comparison to one of these two guys. But it definitely has its place with that mask in there. And, considering it's not really offering that much difference from some of the other Zeus variants, I'm curious to see exactly how people play it, but including that mask in there is probably going to be essential if you guys want to set it apart from the other assaults or Zeuses out there on the battlefield. But I'm curious to see what people make of these hard points. So that's what I really see it being, is more of a support second line kind of assault. As for the heavies, Black Knight, absolutely going to be a brawler. With that ballistic hard point in the left arm, cram an AC 20 in there or something like that and go 6 medium pulse or 6 mediums or something like that, thing is going to wreck. It's going to be like a freight train coming through. So, even if you went lower than an AC 20 and did maybe an LB 10 and then threw on an SRM 4 or an SRM 6 or put a UAC in there, this thing is going to be getting a lot of face time with its opponents. So highly recommend, if you guys do like brawling and you do like the short range approach, pick up the Black Knight. I'm definitely going to be picking it up. The Mjolnir, the Grasshopper, 70 tonner. I like what they're trying to do here with the ballistic. I might pick it up. This is one of the ones, again, that I'm on the fence about. This and the Zeus are what I'm on the fence about. Just because of the fact that the Zeus has the mask and this has the ballistic hard point. Seeing how that gets integrated with 7 energy hard points, you're either going to have to really focus on this ballistic hard point and then maybe do 7 mediums or something like that. But again, you don't have the same kind of tankiness that the Black Knight has. So it's kind of going to be a trade-off. And the hitboxes on the Grasshoppers, it seems easy. I don't know, for me to kind of peel off components on Grasshoppers. It just, they again, it is a heavy mech, so they do have some padding and some, capability to absorb a lot of damage. But just keep that all in mind. It's definitely unique adding that ballistic hardpoint on there. But with the 7 energy hardpoints, you're not getting much different than what we already are experiencing with the Grasshoppers. It does have the jump jets, no mask or ECM or anything like that, as we mentioned. So I'm seeing the Black Knight as a brawler. I'm seeing the Grasshopper as support, or even long range. If you decide to keep that Gauss rifle in the left arm, that's one way to go. And then maybe ER larges or large pulse, something like that, to support the Gauss rifle. I think that would be a great loadout on there if you'd like the longer range approach. That's my opinion on the Grasshopper. As for the mediums, definitely going to be picking up the Enforcer, ECM with that ballistic hardpoint in the right arm. Definitely going to be worthwhile of getting. It's probably going to be more of a support, long range kind of mech, especially if you do utilize only and leave that Gauss rifle in there. You're looking at more of a ranged approach. And then with the energy, you could probably, and because it does have jump jets, you could Pop-Tart PPC if you're into the meta. I don't usually like to use the meta. I'd probably either go with the Gauss rifle and then, I don't know, say, medium pulses or ER or large pulses, ER larges, something like that. I just like to mix it up a little bit, but it's definitely intended to be a sniper, so definitely more long range, supportive kind of gameplay is what you're probably going to wind up getting out of this. They are tanky mechs though, so if you did want to switch out that Gauss rifle for something else, the enforcers do have a lot of durability out there on the battlefield, and the mounts for most of these guys are pretty low. If we look at where is he? Here he is. The mounts are pretty low in relation to the cockpit, so you do have to kind of keep that in mind as well. So I see this being more of a support, long range, kind of side poke or peeking around obstacles and natural terrain. So definitely keep that in mind. And then the crab. The crab, you have to pick it up. I mean, it's the only one that's going to boast, this mix of ballistics, energy, and missile hard points. Tanky, all pretty versatile for medium. They do have a big side profile, but, that's to be expected. That's how it was designed, and, so you do have some tankiness out there with it. But you're probably going to be going with an XL engine on there anyway, even if because of the tankiness on there and catering to all these hard points. So, I wouldn't even be surprised if I saw 2 machine guns between the arms, 2 medium pulse and then 2 SRM6s. That's what I'm getting out of this, is that it's this is more of a support long range kind of approach mech. And I think the crab is going to take the brawler aspect into consideration for the mediums with these kind of hard points and everything. So because they are low mounted, I don't think you're going to be getting much sniping or anything out of it. I don't see this becoming a lerm boat or anything. I think that even just thinking about that actually kind of sounds weird. So I think that's going to be, this is your brawler and the crab, and then the enforcer is going to be more of your long range. And as for the lights, the Irby is the Irby. The Irby is just going to add that kind of like the token. It's like a staple in Mech Warrior at this point. So for collectability purposes, I feel like everyone's going to pick up an Irby. Not going to, you could really mix and match with how you want to play it, whether you want to go long range, short range. It's an Irby. So really, they're like the wild card, I feel like, out of every mech. And I'm going to be picking it up. I just really hope that siren goes off. Please, PGI, just listen. If you don't listen to any of my other videos, listen to this one and make the sirens go. So I think that's going to be your wild card. It could be mixed and matched to anything that you want it to be, with the energy and the ballistics on there. Again, not adding much difference than the other variants that are already in the game. But then if we look at the Wolfhound, definitely going to be your brawler. Your sneaky, little, manipulative brawler with the ECM to hide, and then the 5 energy hard points. Most of the Wolfhounds have 6 or 5 energy hard points on there already, so it's not adding much difference there. But that ECM module is going to make the world of a difference, let me tell you. So if you do like the Wolfhounds, they're very tanky, and to have that sneakiness on there and then pack a punch with maybe 5 medium pulse or 5 mediums, you're definitely going to be wrecking some face in this mech. So definitely looking forward to the Wolfhound being the brawler. And as for the Panther is a little more dynamic as well in comparison to the other variants that are out there. I'm actually thinking or considering picking this one up just because of the balance. The 2 energy in the left arm and the right arm, then the 1 missile in the center torso. It could definitely be, I feel like this is going to be the shoot and scoot kind of mech for the lights. Whereas the Wolfhound will probably hang in there, get a little bit more face time, use that ECM to its advantage. The Panther is going to be like a little bit of a knife in your side, a little dagger. Just shoot off 4 medium pulse, and then a salvo of SRMs, SRM4 or SRM6, something like that. And, kind of just put down just little short bursts of damage here and there. It does have a big profile, and it doesn't have the biggest engine rating, so it doesn't have the tankability of a Wolfhound for the lights. So that's the reasoning behind why I think the Panther is going to still fall into that role of a shoot and scoot kind of mech. So you have your brawler and the Wolfhound, wild card in the urban mech, and the shoot and scoot short range kind of dip in dip out approach with the Panther. But those are my first and initial impressions on these guys. As for when they actually come out in the game, that could be a whole, world of difference once they're actually implemented. Just seeing how they perform, see what works. If they come with any quirks, we're not sure with the new system coming into the game. So, if they do, I'm sure they're going to be very limited. But I'm very excited about all of these guys, actually. I think even the ones that I'm iffy about, there's a good chance that I might purchase them just to see how they perform in correlation between their counterparts or the other variants that already are established with them in the game. So that's going to do it for this episode of Mech Warrior Online on the Resistance Hero overview. Those are all my opinions. I really do think that you have a strong case for every single one of these mechs having something different or something unique to bring out to the battlefield. Out of all of them that I would be hesitant to pick up for right now, I think it would probably be the Grasshopper, the Mjolnir. Even though it does have that ballistic hard point, it's not really adding much difference. And the Grasshoppers, they're known for being energy boats. They have a big profile. They're very, very, they're very easy targets to hit because they are one of the tallest mechs in the game. And, is that ballistic hard point enough to justify having, spend $20 to pick up, the Grasshopper? Probably not. I love ballistics, and that would probably be the only reason why I would pick it up. But as for, you guys, I'm trying to help you guys out and making good decisions on what mechs to purchase. I don't want you guys wasting or spending any money or being disappointed if it's obviously a waste or something at some point. So if you want to wait for my reviews on them, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to try and pump out one every single day. So I'm going to try and pick up all of these guys. If you guys want to help out in donating so that I can pick up all these mechs and review them for you, I would really appreciate it. I'll leave my links for PayPal and Patreon in the description. I think it comes out to $175 or something like that if I were to pick up all of them. So, if I could get them all on the same day, I definitely will. If I have the funds at that point. But, if you guys do want to help out in that capacity, you're more than welcome to. You do not have to. Do not feel obligated to. But I am going to try and review all of these for you once they're actually out in the game so that you guys can see how they perform. But early indication, I'd probably hold off on the Grasshopper here unless you're just an avid fan of the Grasshoppers and you like that unique little ballistic hard point in the what is it? I think it was the right arm, right? No, the left arm. It has it in the left arm. And then as for the ones that I'm most excited about, definitely the Black Knight. I'm really looking forward to seeing the Black Knight, the Wolfhound, and even the Kaiju. I'm really excited about the Kaiju. I think that that's going to be a fantastic add for the King Crab and the Assaults. So those are the ones that I'm probably most excited about, and then the rest of them are just unique, and those are the reasons why I'm wanting to pick them up. Between the Zeus, the Mauler, the Enforcer, the Panther, the Crab, and the Irby is just, it's a staple. So that's going to do it for this episode of Mech Warrior Online. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Check out the links in the description. Again, I will leave my Patreon and PayPal pages there in case you guys do want to help out in any capacity with picking up this entire set of 10 Resistance heroes, which I do hope to review for all of you guys. Anything else, I do have a new email that's also in the description. I also have my new Teamspeak, which one of you guys generously donated and helped me out to get, so that we can continue in our chats on Teamspeak. It just seems to be a lot easier to go through Teamspeak than anything, especially when it comes time for the group drops and everything like that. So check out the link in the description for the Teamspeak in case you guys want to save it, add it to your bookmarks, and hop in there at any point in time. If you see me, say hi. Leave all of your other comments, as I mentioned below. I'll be checking them out. If you want to start a discussion on them, please also feel free to leave that in the comment section below. I'll be checking everything out that you guys have to say about these mechs. I hope you enjoyed my opinions. These are my first impressions, so obviously if they do have any kind of tweaks or anything along the way, once they're released, I hope to review them for you. I'm really, really excited about these guys, especially for the Inner Sphere. It's really cool that PGI is doing this, and I really, really am looking forward to these guys actually being released in the game. So thank you guys so much again for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you all on the next one. Take care, guys.